Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, Nigel Farage has suggested that he could support a second referendum on membership of the European Union. But the former UKIP leader has already rowed back, telling listeners to his radio programme he did not want another vote, but he thinks it might be necessary to stop what he called whingers and whiners. Our political editor Faisal Islam reports.
Let June the 23rd go down in our history as our Independence Day!
It isn't about wanting this moment all over again, but today, an unexpected claim from the most unlikely of sources.
So maybe, just maybe, I'm reaching the point of thinking that we should have a second referendum
on what?
On EU membership.
The whole thing?
Yes, of course. Unless you want to have a multiple choice referendum.
No.
I think if we had a second referendum on EU membership, we'd kill it off for a generation.
Another leading British politician also analysing the impact of Brexit, the Mayor of London publishing economic studies commissioned after the government declined to, suggesting a sizable hit to the economy and jobs.
According to the expert analysis, which I'm publishing today, the best outcome for us, if we are going to leave the European Union, is to have a transitional deal and for us to continue to be in the single market and customs union. Not ideal for the reasons I've said, but we are where we are. That's the least worst option. And as you go to a more harder Brexit, it leads to fewer jobs, less investment and economic output being less well.
The independent study suggests that under a no-deal Brexit with no transition either, there could be a 3% hit to GDP by 2030. That's a $54 billion a year hit to the economy. It warns that 500,000 jobs could be under threat, 87,000 of them in London. However, the economic effect here is still less than the 7.5% hit predicted by the Treasury ahead of the referendum. From two wildly different sources on Brexit, Nigel Farage and Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, you have essentially the same question. What today is the settled will of the British people on Brexit? And some of those doubts are shared even by some who have discussed this around the cabinet table. They point out that Theresa May put her vision of a shape of a Brexit plan to the British people at the general election, and she lost her majority in places like that, in Battersea and beyond. A welcome for the idea of another poll in this Remain area.
That's quite surprising. I thought he'd be totally against it because he got the answer he wanted. But if he wants a second referendum, I'm totally up for it.
Nigel Farage has floated the idea of a second referendum to kill off the issue once and for all. What do you make of that?
I can't believe it. I'm amazed it's come from him. Absolutely staggered.
And what, do you think it's a good idea?
Is he well, actually,
But in Leave voting Luton, the Farage idea is surprisingly welcome too.
I think they would want to stay now. Nobody understood the question the first time, including me. That's why I didn't vote. I didn't understand it. But I expected the government to understand the question. It looks like they didn't understand it either.
Lots of people after the last time came back and said that they didn't understand, they did it because of this, because of that, so that they could have that good, clear outcome for themselves. They should be given an informed choice and then have that referendum again.
I actually voted against, but now we've made a decision, I think we should just continue with it.
Little sign of referendum fatigue there. In the same week, he met Chief EU negotiator Michel Barnier, the former UKIP leader Nigel Farage, reopening the most fundamental discussion about this Brexit process. Faisal Islam, Sky News.